Warning: the SCP Foundation database is classified. Access by unauthorized personnel is strictly prohibited. Perpetrators will be tracked, located, and detained.
Item Number: SCP-2556. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures: An international no-fly zone has been approved by the UN Security Council and NATO in a 200 nautical mile radius surrounding SCP-2556. A Raycon buoy, additionally fitted with a Geiger counter, has been stationed directly beneath SCP-2556, transmitting to SCP-F Favonius. Any significant change in SCP-2556's position or radiation levels will automatically report a Burning Arrow-class containment event to Foundation Atlantic Command. SCP-F Favonius will scramble armed fighters in the event of any detected incursion into the no-fly zone. Note: Prior Containment Procedure Addendum, stricken September 1, 2003. Foundation HH-60H helicopters based on the SCP-F Favonius will rendezvous with SCP-2556 monthly to deliver 1 month of food rations, requested living supplies, reading material, and vinyl records approved by the Foundation Ethics Subcommittee on Human Containment to Captain Honeycutt and Second Lieutenant Ilowski. Owing to 43 years of consistent cooperation in containment procedures, Ilowski and Honeycutt are allowed daily radio conversations with both SCP-F Favonius staff, which must follow OPSEC Standard 21, U.S. military, and, on request, radio conversations with Foundation psychologists. Description: SCP-2556 is a Boeing B-45 Stratojet constructed in 1953, which has been suspended in mid-air over the Atlantic Ocean at
Redacted.
north,
Redacted.
west, approximately
Redacted.
nautical miles west of Essaouira, Morocco, since 1956. SCP-2556 remains fixed in a geosynchronous position, approximately 4,300 meters above the ocean surface. No efforts to influence SCP-2556's position have thus far been successful, and experimentation as such has been suspended, with 2 exceptions, since 1988. SCP-2556's interior cabin is highly irradiated, with all surfaces within giving out approximately 500 millisieverts of ionizing radiation per hour. This is enough to cause an increase in cancer rates in approximately 15 minutes, and symptoms of acute radiation poisoning in approximately 45. For this reason, human incursions to the interior cabin of SCP-2556 are restricted to 10 minutes or less per person per year, per Foundation Ethics Subcommittee on Occupational Safety rulings. Further scientific details on the nature and theorized sources of SCP-2556's radiation are available to personnel with appropriate security clearance. Recovery: SCP-2556 was a United States Air Force plane which departed from Eglin Air Force Base, Florida, on
Date redacted.
1956 on a non-stop flight to
Redacted.
Air Force Base, Morocco. Following its failure to respond to communication from a tanker scheduled for mid-air refueling, SCP-2556 was declared missing, and USAF began an immediate search. When SCP-2556 was discovered immobile in mid-air by a search party, USAF informed the Global Occult Coalition, who established initial containment. After determining that destruction of the object was inadvisable, if not impossible, the GOC transferred containment responsibility to the Foundation. SCP-2556, and formerly SCP-2556-1 and -2, have remained in Foundation containment since. Crew and Incident 2556 Aleph. On takeoff from Eglin Air Force Base, SCP-2556 was crewed by 3 members of the U.S. Air Force. Captain Roger Honeycutt, SCP-2556-1, born 1932, died 2003. Original pilot of SCP-2556, survived Incident 2556 Aleph, contained in SCP-2556 until his death. Second Lieutenant James Ilowski, SCP-2556-2, born 1934, died 2003. Original crew of SCP-2556, survived Incident 2556 Aleph, contained in SCP-2556 until his death. Captain Rodney Awen, SCP-2556-3, born 1930, missing since 1956, presumed dead. Original co-pilot of SCP-2556, disappeared during Incident 2556 Aleph in 1956, missing since. Captain Honeycutt and Second Lieutenant Ilowski displayed complete resistance to the effects of the irradiated interior of SCP-2556, but suffered effects of acute radiation poisoning when not exposed to ionizing radiation, as demonstrated on 1 GOC and 2 Foundation attempts at removing them from SCP-2556 during their 43-year containment. As a result, containment policies were designed to provide an acceptable living environment on SCP-2556 for Honeycutt and Ilowski, with furniture, entertainment, and other living essentials delivered monthly via helicopter to their location. Captain Rodney Awen disappeared, along with the 2 cases of nuclear weapons material on board SCP-2556 during Incident 2556 Aleph, at which point SCP-2556 was suspended in mid-air and the object's interior cabin became irradiated. U.S. Air Force investigations into the event revealed written communications between Captain Awen and leadership of the Movimiento para la Liberación del Sahara, a Moroccan resistance group desiring independence for the Western Sahara region, which would later form the Polisario Front. Coded portions of the letters have yet to be decrypted, but current leading theories indicate that Captain Awen intentionally initiated Incident 2556 Aleph in an attempt to acquire the nuclear material on board SCP-2556 for the movement. Captain Honeycutt died of inoperable brain cancer, believed to be caused by his exposure to radiation poisoning-like effects during rescue attempts, in 2003, at the age of 71. Second Lieutenant Ilowski, himself showing symptoms of cancer, requested assisted suicide from the Foundation Ethics Committee following Honeycutt's death. Excerpt from Interview 2556-912, August 26, 2003. Participating: Second Lieutenant James Ilowski, SCP-2556-2, via radio, and Dr. Elaine Corden, Foundation Psychologist. Begin log.
Understood. We will forward your request for standard assisted suicide procedures to the Ethics Subcommittee with a recommendation for approval.
Thank you, Dr. Corden.
Do you have any further statements for the committee to consider?
Not much. This whole thing was one hell of a trip. But I feel lucky through it all, you know?
Why is that, do you think?
people don't spend 40 years on a plane. But, you know what? Most people don't get to spend nearly as long with the person they love. I miss him up here, Dr. Corden.
We miss him down here too, James.
That's all then. God bless.
End log. Second Lieutenant Ilowski's request for assisted suicide was approved by the subcommittee, and he died 1 week later. His and Captain Honeycutt's remains showed no anomalous effects besides extensive irradiation commensurate with the time spent on the interior of SCP-2556. As per their request, Captain Honeycutt and Second Lieutenant Ilowski are buried beside one another in specially designed radiation-resistant coffins in a Foundation-controlled area in rural.
Redacted.
Their graves are unmarked. Honeycutt and Ilowski were both given posthumous commendation by Foundation International Command for their over 40 years of cooperation in the containment of SCP-2556. End of file. The SCP Foundation database is produced and narrated by Joshua Alan Lindsay. SCP-2556, Indefinitely Suspended Stratojet, was written by Kate McTiriss and requested by Patreon patron Maple123. The database thanks you for your continued support. The voice of Dr. Corden was Lisa Hogan, and the voice of Second Lieutenant Ilowski was Christian Jasper. Support for the database is solely provided by our patrons on Patreon. Please consider supporting the show at patreon.com/the SCP Foundation database to gain access to exclusive benefits, including bonus content, joke SCPs, merch, the ability to request episodes, and an invite to our private Discord server. If you enjoy the database, consider leaving a rating or review, and stay connected by following any of our social media profiles. Links can be found in the episode description.